Hi there. My name is Amy Leblanc, and I'm the author of Unlocking, which recently came out with the University of Calgary Press. Thank you so much to Shelf Life for the invitation to be part of the Writers at Home series. I am just going to read a couple of pages just from the prologue to the book. It does kind of the best setup and hopefully hooks you in and makes you want to read more. So this is Euphemia's prologue. 3 can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Who was it that said that? I suppose it doesn't matter, since the one who said it is most likely the first to go. Here's what I've always said. A goldfish will eventually grow to fit the size of its bowl, and the same is true of secrets. In a confined space, a secret will expand to be as large as the space itself. When the boundaries of the space change, so do the dimensions of the secret. It's basic. When a secret is patiently fed, it begins to grow. An impatient gardener will water too much, fertilize at the wrong time, and pluck their turnips from the soil when they could have grown with a little patience twice as bulbous. In Snowton, Alberta, a secret that began as small as a seed was fed until it flourished like a crocus in spring. That isn't to say there was a shortage of secrets before the latest one. Alexander Davies' parents locked him in a tool shed when he wet the bed as a child. Once, while they were planning a bingo fundraiser for repairs to the town library, Alexander was in the shed for 46 hours. Mr. Davy was practicing how he might call bingo numbers. 17, Dancing Queen, 61, Baker's Bun, 85, Staying Alive, while Alexander pulled his last lint-covered piece of gum from his pants pocket to moisten his mouth. I was with Mr. Davy, Alexander's father, when he passed away years after the incident in the shed. He told me that he had only ever wanted to make the boy strong, but I never understood what he meant by that. The clematis cannot grow without a trellis to lean on for support. Mr. Davy himself had been bullied as a child, and he wanted something different for Alexander, who was not present when his father died. He was dealing cards at a casino in Vancouver at the time. Here's another secret. As teenagers, Ben Higgins, Mark Dahl, and Edward Till spray painted Indigo Vince is a slut on the outside wall of the bowling alley, where Indigo used to work to support her mother's drug habit. I only found out because Indigo came to my house for a handful of the polypore pieces I nurtured in my backyard. Generally speaking, most polypores are harmless, but she wanted polypores of the genus Hapalophilus, a species that can cause kidney failure, which leads to fluid retention, confusion, weakness, coma, etc., etc. Indigo thought she might slip some into their soft drinks the next time they came to the bowling alley. I gave it to her, but as far as I know, she never went through with it. A part of me wishes that she had. It would have made for a more interesting year. Even now, Wanda Alpin talks in her sleep and tells her husband that she wants a divorce, but then wakes up with no recollection of having said anything of the sort. Her husband came to me and asked if any of my plants could help her sleep more soundly. It seems that being dumped night after night was beginning to take its toll. I gave him some valerian root to boil with chamomile and suggested he add a tablespoon of honey for sweetness. He never returned for more, so I assume the mixture worked. If it didn't, he may have finally learned how to cope with rejection. Angela Cullen stole $3,000 from the Fund for Flood Relief in 2013. The town council had stapled a milk jug to the telephone pole outside the library to collect donations. Angela was in charge of emptying the jug each night and tallying the donations, but she wrote down half of the actual amount. The rest went into empty peanut butter jars in her basement. I can't find any reason for that theft other than blatant greed, and I certainly don't blame her for that. I keep all of these secrets like seedlings in my hands. The leaves on my poplar tree have begun turning inside out, and a creeping bellflower has spread itself into the sidewalk cracks in front of my house. The rabbits munch on the blooms and leaves. Regardless, the flower persists and grows. If you try to pluck a creeping bellflower from the earth, you will discover that its roots travel under lawns and fences and even beneath concrete like a nervous system. Invasive and stubborn, these plants thrive in all conditions. I am alone most of the time, and I speak to my plants to help them grow. Whoever said classical music helps plants germinate and ripen has never spoken to me. My vines wither if I play Mozart, but twist and grasp and climb when I speak to them. I tell them secrets, which they absorb like nutrients from the soil. The earth of this town is ripe with whispers and furtive conversations. The key to understanding is to soak everything in like a bearded iris and try not to let the secrets turn to rot. I have been skirting around the periphery of Louise Till's secret for some time. I have seen her taking notes as secretary in town council meetings. I have seen how she separates herself from what she writes. But you don't take on a role like that unless you're at least a little curious about the lives of others. By watching Lou, I have learned that the part of a key that enters a lock is called the blade. What we hold as we slide a key into the lock is a bow. The shoulder is what keeps the key from getting swallowed in the jaws of a lock. The deepest part of a key's cut is called the valley. The reason my key works at my house and yours does not is that they have different codes, individual delineations that dictate what a key can be used for. A key's valley, shoulder, code, and other features make up the small piece of metal we use for security, a sense of security anyway. I have been observant and patient as any good gardener should be, but I can sense that the contours of Louise's secret are about to change. Thank you.